a student of the I Ching or of the I Ching Research Center. This video is about the new course that I have initiated recently, and I got a lot of requests for this course with this specific topic and content, which is actually obvious considering the courses that I've given so far. Up till now, I gave mainly two online courses. One course is The Power of the Hexagrams, in which we pretend there is no text in the I Ching. We only work with the hexagram and trigrams, line positions, and all the relationships between them, and all other kinds of systems that can be found in the hexagram, and we ignore the text completely. And the other course is the opposite of that, the Mystery of the Text course, which focuses on the text of the Zhouyi. So in the Mystery course, we pretend there isn't a hexagram. And we don't do anything with hexagrams, trigrams, etc. We focus on the text, the meaning of the text, and how you can work with the text and how you can extract meaning from the text and how you can use translations, etc. And both courses are a little bit weird because if you want to use the I Ching completely, then you should be able to use both parts of the answer. You should be able to use the hexagram and the text at the same time. I mean, that's the content of the Zhouyi. You have hexagrams and text, and pretending that the one of the two is missing, well, of course, that has a purpose for these courses, because the text can be distracting you from the hexagrams, and the hexagram can distract you from the meaning of the text. So from a teaching perspective, I think that's a good choice to ignore one of these layers. But in the practical sense, that isn't really well, useful. You should be able to use the complete I Ching. And naturally, a lot of my students who follow both courses ask me, how are we going to combine the hexagram and the text? And for some reason, this seems to be a challenge for a lot of my students. Up to now, I have about 300 students, I think. And this is a question that comes up quite often. I've learned the value of the hexagram and the trigrams, etc. And I know how to work with the text, but how am I going to combine these two? And that has been a very valid question and request, but I've always struggled to turn that request into a proper course. And why is that, you might wonder? Well, that's because I mainly work from original Chinese material, the earlier the better. And when it comes to working with trigrams and hexagrams and combining these two, I have never found any material on that. It seems to be something that is, from a Chinese perspective, quite obvious, that you use the hexagram and the text, and there are not really any guidelines for that. At least I've never been able to find them, which means that teaching this means I have to do it without any proper Chinese sources, which for me feels really uncomfortable, because I have to work mainly from experience and my own ideas, and I can't really back these up with Chinese sources. I think this is an issue that mainly I am bothered by, and my students not so much. because quite quickly they said, well, just show us how you do it. Show us how you combine text and hexagram. And to be honest, working with the text and hexagram at the same time has never really been an issue for me. It's something that I, well, it is quite natural to me. So um, it took me quite some time, I think more than a year, to find the consolation in the idea that my students will probably not really miss any old Chinese sources. So this course is just mainly about me showing you how I am how I'm actually using the Zhouyi. That's actually what this course is about. Showing you my way. So let's go through the whole structure. I've provided a very small presentation. I think 4 sheets, something like that. So let's go to that presentation. So the title of the course is Using the Full Zhouyi for Divination, and by that I mean using the hexagrams and all the systems that are in it and the text of the Zhouyi. I explicitly say Zhouyi because I Ching, that implies also commentary like the Ten Rings, etc. And I'm not really concerned by that. I'm focusing on the Zhouyi, the original foundational oracle of the Book of Changes. So 8 lessons, 8 weeks, 8 students, 8 cases. Why 8, you might ask? Well, for someone who is really interested in trigrams, I think that number is quite obvious. It's also because it's about more or less 2 months, which I think for a course is doable for me and for my students. So 8 lessons, 8 weeks, and 8 students and 8 cases. And for each lesson, uh, um, there's 1 week, and for each lesson we will focus on 1 case of a student. And the whole idea of the course is this. For each case, I will show you how I combine all the elements of the hexagram with the text of the Zhouyi into a meaningful reading of each answer. So that means that in this training, this workshop, we will, this course, we will cover 8 cases, 1 case from each student. And I will rip that case completely to pieces and dissect it in every possible way. And I will do that by teaching by example. No reading material is necessary. You don't need to have any kind of knowledge of any previous courses, whatever. I'm just going to show you how I do it with as much explanation of why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm not going to show you only how I do it, but also why I am focusing on certain parts or well, whatever. And I will put my explanation in a video, and those students who know me by now, they will probably have seen that my videos can be quite lengthy, and especially in this case, I want to give myself the time to look at a case from every possible angle to show you what can be done with an answer from the I Ching, how much information can be extracted from it, and how much meaningful information. And that doesn't really mean that when I do that, that the student has to do it exactly the same way. On the contrary, the student should always find his or her own way. It's mainly to show you how much options you have. And options, well, that's what the word says, they are optional. all these things that you can use, and the many ways you can look at the hexagram and the text and all these parts. I would like to show that, and yeah, that's actually the whole idea. And I will emphasize patterns that I see and other interesting elements that, in my view, jump out and are significant, because in my view, there are almost always patterns in an answer from the I Ching. And sometimes these patterns can be more interesting and meaningful than all the separate elements of the patterns. So when I see a pattern, I think that's relevant, and I will, well, point these out. And of course, the whole idea is that I will show you how hexagram and text can work together instead of contradict each other. Because that seems to be the idea that a lot of users of the I Ching have. They know how to get meaning from the hexagram, and also from the text, and for some reason they often think that these two clash. Oh, the hexagram says this, that I should do this or that, but the text says something different. Help. The hexagram says that everything will be all right, and the text says inauspicious. And how are you going to reconcile these? So, and personally, that has never been an issue to me. So that is what I will cover in this course. So 8 students can submit one case each. They want me to examine from every possible angle, and it doesn't really matter what kind of case it is. I couldn't care less about the question, or if it's a case from the past, or if it's about predicting the future. The main idea of this course is to teach you how I'm doing it, and I can use every case for that. So if you're going to participate in this course, you should be aware that this isn't a course about private consultations. When you submit your case, it isn't meant like that I'm going to tell you what you should do with your current situation, what the proper course of action would be. It's not like a consultation in the normal sense. The main idea is still teaching. So that is something that you have to realize when you participate in this course. It's not about consultations. So, and the way you submit your case, that's up to you. The case will be put on the discussion board of the learning environment, and that will enable your fellow students to already ask questions about your case. And if you have cast hexagrams, they can ask questions about the hexagram, how you did it, why you did that, etc. And if necessary, I will take these questions with me in my explanation of the case. And when I have made my video with my complete explanation, then I will put it on the discussion board, and your fellow students can then again comment on that. But for you, as the person who submitted the case, there's a very interesting bonus, I think, because you will have a one-on-one online session with me about your case. And this is something that I've never done before, at least not in this way. Of course, I've had several one-on-one sessions with people who take consultations from me, but doing that with a student, that's actually relatively new for me. And I think that this might be the opportunity for you as a student to ask me anything about your case, the way I interpret your case, doubts that you have about my interpretation, or even if you don't agree with my interpretation, excellent. Then let's have a good discussion about that. And you can also use that session if you want to ask general questions on the I Ching if you want. It's fine by me. It's your case, it's your hour or maybe longer, I have no idea. So use that to your advantage. Of course, the main topic will be the case. After all, that's what this course is about. But I will not shy away from other questions that are about I Ching in general. Although, of course, it will help me when you submit these questions beforehand so that I can prepare. So a one-on-one online session, and the way we're going to do that, I have more or less planned to use Google Meet for that. I tried that out. That's for me relatively easy to record. But if Google Meet doesn't work, we will find another way. There's Teams. I don't have a subscription with Zoom, so that might be a little bit difficult because you need to have a subscription to make videos longer than now, I think, or if to be able to record it. So, but anyway, that's the technical part, and we will sort that out. Yeah, well, that session will also be put on the discussion board to be shared with your fellow students. So, and that's actually the main idea of this course, examples and my reflection on your case and reflection of your students on these cases. Yeah. Well, as I said, there will be a discussion board to ask questions and submit other cases to be examined by your fellow students. I'm not sure, I can't really comment too much on these additional cases because that would be really time consuming. But of course, I will also look at these cases as well, and you can share resources. And when it is necessary and useful, I will share videos or text from my other courses if I think that is necessary to understand my interpretation of your case. Then I will do that. And it isn't really necessary to have followed any of my other courses, although it is possible that during the course you will find out that you need a little bit more information either about trigrams or about text or piece of text, certain Chinese name, whatever. Well, just ask me and I'll give you the proper resources if I have these at hand. So that's actually the only thing that I'm asking of you is an open mind, willingness to learn and participate, and go with the flow, see what happens. So this is what this new course is about, and I hope you like it. As you have seen, I need 8 students. No more, no less. If there are less than 8 students, then there will be a gap in the weekly format. So 8 is definitely preferred. That's all. Yeah, that's what I want to say about these one-on-one sessions. There will be a calendar in which you can schedule your appointment at such a time that it works for the both of us. Because this is always the challenge when it comes to these sessions, to find the proper time with all these time zones. I have students from all over the world, and time zones are very useful, but it can also be a challenge to find to put 2 agendas together. So you can schedule quite early your own session, and it will only be possible to schedule 1 session in a week. So suppose someone has already scheduled a session during a week, then that week will be closed. You can't add another appointment to that week, because otherwise it is possible that a lot of people schedule an appointment in 1 or 2 weeks, which will really wreak havoc with my personal agenda. So I hope you like this idea of this new course, and all the information can be found on my website. There's this section with this top menu with workshops, and you should be able to find this course there. Maybe you have already registered for this course, and maybe you're on the waiting list. Well, thank you for your interest. If you have any questions, then you can email me at this email address that is listed here on the page. And yeah, well, hope to see you during this workshop or one of the other workshops. If you have questions, leave a comment to this video. That's on YouTube, that's possible, or just send me an email. Okay, thank you for watching, and have a pleasant day. Thank you. Bye.